Welcome. Well, today I'd like to talk a little bit about the foundations of meditation. I went to a class last night that was really good, and we revisited the foundations of meditation and really dug deep into it and what its solid foundations are, how we make it really tangible, how no matter what level of meditation we're at or what form of meditation we're doing, we can seek to make it more genuine and more full and more real, because at its core, it's a very simplistic practice, but it can also be quite challenging to maintain over a long period of time because it uses spiritual muscles, and so if we only use it in a certain way or for a certain amount of time, we may not be as strong as we can be. So this foundation of meditation is really about the basics. So first, of course, we want to drop into the space that we know that we have the space that we can do this. Know that we have 5 or 10 minutes at least to do this. Find the most optimal place to do this with the least distractions and interruptions, and where we feel most comfortable, and settle in. So the first step is to find the location and find the time and then settle in. And settling in, basically we want to have a straight spine. Whatever we're doing, we want to have a straight spine because this is our electrical system. It houses our electrical system. And if it's straight, it's functioning optimally. If it's bent, it's not. It's having to go further and try harder and do different things. It's not optimal flow. So we want a straight spine. We can do this laying down. We can do the standing up, sitting. We can play with all different kinds of seated positions, but something that you're going to feel comfortable, not feel the need to move around much, and that will support having a straight spine. So from here, we want to basically just relax our eyes to the point where they're pretty much closed. They're all the way closed, but they're not heavy. They're not tight and they're not heavy. They're lightly closed. And then from here, we want to become the observer. So this is similar to contemplation, where we watch all of our thoughts and feelings and dive into them and explore them and contemplate them. But instead of contemplating the thoughts and the feelings that come up, we just say, oh, there's a thought, and we drop back in immediately. The way I like to do this is I say, we are all naturally brilliant at meditating. It is a natural state of being that has been conditioned out of us. So the way we remember how we used to meditate, we remember what it feels like to wake up in the morning and to stretch a little bit and to not have to go anywhere or do anything. Just that feeling of not fully awake, not ready to talk, not ready to stand up, maybe not even ready to open our eyes yet, but we're definitely awake. This is meditation, where we are just observing. Often we'll have like a warm, tingly sensation in our body very first thing when we wake up, and we'll just feel kind of warm and soft, and we won't feel, maybe we do have some aches and pains, but we're not that point where we're feeling those aches and pains. We're just feeling the joy of waking up. And so this is meditation. So we want to practice being in this state where we are just resting in our bodies. And when we are resting in our bodies, when we don't have an agenda and we are letting go of our thoughts and feelings because we are rising slightly above, we are slightly out of our body or removed or distant ever so slightly, that we are observing, we are experiencing, but observing and letting go. And this allows our body to regenerate. This is the regenerative power of meditation, is by allowing the body to be in a fully relaxed state, fully conscious, without interrupting it. The body will naturally regenerate and heal. Alkalinity will be restored, which will reduce any inflammation, and deep relaxation, the deep physiological relaxation that comes from this will start to heal any other dis-ease within the body, because when the body is allowed to really release the tension that it's holding, then it can get to work healing. We often unconsciously hold energy as a form of tension, and we can do it even if we feel relaxed. We can do it like even if we're swimming or sleeping, we can still be holding that tension. It can just kind of be there without us knowing it. So meditation, conscious relaxation in this way, make sure that our whole body is actually relaxing, and then we get the medicinal benefit from this. Our organs can actually relax. So this is the foundation of meditation. This is the core part of it. There's all different areas of meditation. I love the chanting meditations, the vibratory sound meditations, and the breath meditations. But at its core, this is kind of, one, a good practice to have as well as other meditations, and two, good to integrate into other meditations as much as possible and into daily life. This is the ideal. They say that the ultimate yoga practice is not being good at doing yoga, it's doing yoga while you're living your life and not having to create a separation in time and space to do yoga. It's the same with meditation, and that's why this core practice is so valuable. Because I love chanting, but I can't just start belting out chanting anytime that I want a quick boost. I can do this anytime. I can be standing in a line or sitting in a car or whatever and drop into a few minutes of this kind of meditation. Alright, so I'll review that quickly again. It's set aside the time and the space that works, relax thoroughly, and close the eyes all the way, but not heavy or tight. And full awareness of the body, but drifting slightly out of the body. Fully conscious and awake, but not fully in the body. Just slightly out, enough to observe the body. So we can feel the sensations, we can hear the thoughts, feel the feelings, but we return to this, I just woke up and I don't really know anything that's going on. I'm just reveling in this feeling of slowly waking up. We want to return to that state. So every time we have a thought, we're like, no, it's not quite time to wake up yet. Okay, yeah, that was a thought, but not quite yet. I'll get to you later. We want to just continually do this. Or a feeling comes up, and it's like, I had that feeling. Oh, this wonderful feeling of just waking up. We want to return to that state as much as possible. This is, again, the essence of meditation. When I do my chanting and toning meditations, it brings me to that state. The vibrations and the intention and the focus are all bringing me into that alignment. So it's nice to know that I can do this again without the chanting as well. And from here, we want to seek to deepen our practice by transitioning. This is the key. So as I was talking about first waking up, that transition of that being a real form of meditation, we want to practice doing that transition. One of the more recent meditation classes I taught in person was bringing us to the state of almost falling asleep while we're sitting in chairs in a circle, and then holding ourselves right there before we fall asleep, making sure we're definitely awake, but we're very close to falling asleep for about 2 minutes, and then fully becoming conscious again, and maybe stretching a little bit, and then doing it again. We did that 3 or 4 times, and it gets really relaxed. That group of people was about as relaxed as possible by the end of that session, because this is such a potent form of meditation. We are basically saying that it is okay to have our bodies be pretty much offline, pretty close to sleep, but our consciousness is still fully there. It's training this, because we have been taught that we are on or we are off, and that we are either awake or we are asleep. And again, it is a hoax to prevent us from being in meditation, because meditation is real and happens all the time, but they have to keep pushing a false narrative to make the false narrative seem real, because if they stop pushing it, reality sets in, and meditation is a part of reality. So we want to practice. That's one way we can practice is that sleep technique. Another really good one that yoga teachers often use in yoga classes is as we're coming out of our shavasana at the end of our class, very slowly and gently come out of shavasana, and don't open your eyes right away and don't start thinking right away. This is great, but really we should be continuing this much further. We should dedicate 5 or 10 minutes after shavasana, after meditation, at the end of our asana, just to this integration. We should feel what it feels to be like in this state of bliss after doing a whole asana and our body feels all great, and shavasana, we've just done our meditation after the stretching. Then we should set aside this time to experience this. Make sure that we're still in meditation, that we're not remembering what we have to do next in our life, and that we're not feeling overwhelmingly happy that we went to this class, and that we're not going to those places yet. We're slowly bathing and experiencing and moving in this place of bliss that we just created. So this is the practice of bringing meditation to our daily lives in a tangible way. It's not, I'm stressed, I'm going to try to meditate now. It's what is the experience of meditation, and how do I transfer that over into my day-to-day moment of life? And we do this by transition. And so we can practice different transitions. So there's the sleeping, almost falling asleep transition. There's just waking up transition. There's the asana, shavasana transition. We can just seek to find these transitions and create them with as much depth as possible. So now that we've got the foundation, we want to go deeper with it. we want to make this more powerful and more real for ourselves. And once we've established a really solid practice where we're able to do it all the time, we can start going really deep with it. And we go deep with it by identifying what's happening. As we're meditating, as we're relaxing, we are likely going to notice certain spots in our body that are calling for our attention. And so we treat it like a meditation. We bring our attention there, we show it the attention, we see what it is, and then we release it and move on to meditation without that anymore. We know it's there, but it's not an issue anymore. We are in meditation. But further in meditation, we can allow our awareness to, from this similarly detached state, continually examine and release what's there. We can imagine with energetically we are using our fingers to gently massage the energy tangle out and release it. So we're not looking at its story, we're not listening to it, we're not trying to examine it in that sense. We're really merely recognizing that it is an energy tangle that is drawing our attention and that we want to loosen it and lighten it up and release it. I have had energy work performed on me by this Native American teacher who's amazing and teaches all these special skills. And when he did just like a minute and a half energetic clearing on me and asked me to describe it to the class, that's exactly what I said. And he just smiled and nodded and said, yeah, that's it. It is identifying energy tangles, lightening and loosening them gently, kind of playfully, gently massaging, kind of like a this kind of a motion, kind of like an upward, kind of loosely. And the idea is just to be loosely spreading it upwards, being kind of lifting it upwards, up our chakras and out through our crown chakra. And actually these energy tangles have more to do with our aches and pains and restricted blood flow than any physical phenomena. So if we do this energy moving, then we can actually clear our bodies out and heal our bodies. But anyways, back to the meditations. We can become aware of these tangles and we can start to do these things. Our hands are a great way to do it. We can move energy with our hands because our hands are energy too, but we can do it with our awareness too. So as we're meditating, we can imagine allowing it to disperse. We don't even have to try to do anything. We can say, oh, I am allowing my attention to leave more and more of that area. So the energy that's stuck and tangled is allowed to move up and leave. And that can be the practice. So this is a way that we can deepen our meditation and really bring about more significant biological healing. We can rapidly increase the rate of the biological healing that we get from the meditation by identifying the stuck areas and bringing attention to them and bringing the meditation into them. So this is one way we can deepen our meditation. Another way we can deepen our meditation is continually remembering that we are just on a path, and the path has no beginning and no end. It just continues. This is one of the most important things in meditation, is if we want to be really genuine and we want to be improving, we recognize that we are on a path. And our path may be similar to other people's paths and may be completely unrecognizable. There are some people we may not be able to even identify how they meditate or what they are doing. We will generally be able to experience if someone does do genuine meditation because they're field, they're going to be kind, they're going to be potent. There's some things we can recognize. But in terms of deepening our meditation practice, we want to follow our intuition and continue following it and make sure that there is no destination. A destination will only bring us away from our meditation practice. There's nowhere to go. There's no goal. There's no end game. We know that if we do this enough, if we practice enough and get to a certain state, we'll be so familiar with it that it becomes us. And at that point, our DNA is really shifting. Our molecular structure actually starts to shift once we remember meditation. And this is where it starts to get, the science starts to get really, really crazy. But if we do this enough, we actually recreate the cells of our body in a different, more advanced form. Meditation can lead to the advanced recellular structuring of the body. We know that the cells in the DNA respond to our state of being and our state of mind over time. They adapt. Our DNA and our cells adapt to our consciousness. So as we bring our consciousness to all of our being and resolve all these energy tangles and expand our present moment awareness to more and more of every moment, we are literally retraining our cells and our DNA how to be in their more advanced state. So we are literally becoming whole new people. This is amazing. We live in a really amazing time and place right now because culturally, globally culturally, we are slowly teaching ourselves how to bring ourselves out of the dark ages. We are definitely living in the dark ages. It's just been going on for a long time, and now we're slowly moving out of it because meditation is now like a common practice to talk about. Where all throughout history, meditation has been a closely guarded secret, and even up until recently, it's been political control mechanisms have feared meditation because when we discover ourselves, we realize that a politician is just a politician, and laws are designed for politicians to rule politicians. So the concept of a law being applied to a citizen is that's breaking natural law already. And if you're breaking natural law, so people that meditate become aware of reality, and that's dangerous for people who want to control people. So meditation might be given a bad rap by a lot of people. I know that China has propaganda talking about Buddhists being lazy people to try to get people to not meditate because they want people to work. They don't want people to discover what their work is actually creating, which is more work and more destruction. So by meditating, we bring ourselves back online. We remember who we are because this is us. We're not going to a magic other place by meditating. We are remembering who we are by meditating. We have been convinced that we are not who we are. We are daily convinced that we are not who we are. 100% of the time, wherever we are in a civilized society, no matter where it is in the world, the layers of imprinting are everywhere. It's ridiculous. I've done some deep studies on this, and it's just ridiculous to the point of nature is healing, not because it's healing, because it is. And civilization is designed to cause problems. So when we leave the system that's designed to cause problems, we naturally fall into meditation. We naturally start to heal ourselves. We naturally start to feel better. Things start to make sense. Communities form. This is reality. When we leave this this artificial matrix of slave civilization, reality starts to fill back in. So this is the greater desire. This is the greater picture of meditation. It's not just about gaining superpowers or having more self-control or being in higher states of consciousness or raising our IQ. We can absolutely become more intelligent by doing this practice because we are more intelligent. We've just been told not to be. This is all about reclaiming ourselves. There's not much more to it than that. All right, well, that is part one of the foundations of meditation, straight off of last night's meditation class from one of my favorite teachers. And I would love to hear if you have any questions or comments. I'm going to be filling out my meditation instructional section so that I'm going to be putting up how-tos on all the meditations that I broadcast, and I would love to hear more about what you want to hear about specifically. Is there a certain piece that you're looking for clarification on? Is there a style that you like that you want to know more about? Do you have a question about 2 or 3 different styles? I would just love to hear, because I want to make this as real as possible for as many people as possible, because meditation is absolutely real and is absolutely tangible, and there's just a whole lot of hoaxing going on of people pretending that meditation is just zoning out and not doing anything. So I want to make sure that we're all on the same page, finding out how this is real for us, because until we feel it real, if we're just sitting there and not feeling it, if it's just feeling boring or stressful, we're just, we've been manipulated or lied to or convinced into, following a pattern that isn't quite meditation. And we want to practice and keep learning until we get to actual meditation. And quick recap, almost falling asleep and staying awake and then waking yourself all the way back up is a really great way. This is a deep dive. We can build genuine meditation skills very rapidly by doing that and remembering the feeling of when you first wake up. Remembering that tingly kind of not quite awake feeling. These are 2 states of genuine meditation. All right, well, that was so much fun, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I will be doing more of these soon, and have a wonderful rest of your day.